covered microservices in conjunction with domain-driven design, right? So that basically is a decomposition how we kind of take a monolith or we take a business context or a business boundary and say how does it map to the real life world, right? How do we create what is called an ubiquitous language, which is a language that everybody understands, let's say what an order is about, right? So that becomes a domain. So you kind of look into all of this, you work with business to kind of look into, okay, what comes in, what happens in, and what moves out, which we call as event storming, right? And based on that, you kind of come up at a broad level. What are different types of domains? When you look into domain-driven design, you ideally should come up with three different kinds of domains. There are core domains that are fundamental to the business, right? Without which, if you look into Swiggy, food delivery is a fundamental domain, right? Payment is a fundamental domain, right? Something to that effect. Like the supporting domain would be something that is not a business differentiator for you, right? So if you look into notifications you get on Swiggy, that's not a core domain, right? Or kind of you would say restaurant reviews, right? While reviews are tied to us, that they help an end user basically make a more informed choice about the restaurant. It's not a core business differentiator for, let's say, a food delivery service like Swiggy, wherein their core model is how do I deliver food, right? So that becomes your supporting domain. Then generic domains are technical domains that you basically help you to do things that are not tied to the business, but they perform more at technical functionality. So I think we already talked about notifications as a generic domain, right? You could have an authentication layer that could be a generic domain. So when you take this up, I think this is more from architects and kind of tech leads scenario who'll kind of really get into this, right? Or a technical product managers. But I still wanted to let you know that this is critical for you to define microservices or kind of start doing microservices. Unless you have a good domain-driven design, you will create a distributed monolith, for lack of a better word. It still is a